Hello and good evening. I'm Melissa Idris. Welcome to Consider This. This is the show where we want you to consider and then reconsider what you know of the news of the day. In recent years, Malaysian educators and policymakers have expressed growing concern over the declining enrollment rates in STEM disciplines, so science, technology, engineering and mathematics subjects, all crucial fields that underpin innovation and economic growth. So what are the root causes behind this decline in academic interest in STEM? And are there potential strategies for revitalizing interest in STEM education? Well, joining us now is Dr. Mas Sahidayana Mokhtar, who is Director of the Universiti Malaya STEM Centre. Dr. Mas, thank you so much for being on the show with me today. Recent reports indicate that there has been a decline in students opting for STEM subjects in Malaysian schools, and I think it's gotten so bad, so much so that even the Prime Minister has raised concern. He said, quote, "It's a worrying trend." So I just want to ask you what factors you think or you believe contribute to this trend.
Okay, thank you very much, Melissa, for inviting me to this show. So, before we start for the more in-depth discussion, I would like to clarify, like, what we are talking about is the STEM formal education, where the students are going to choose, in the context of when they are in Form 4, when they are 16 years old, whether they are going to choose STEM A, STEM B, or STEM C1 and STEM C2. Okay, that's a bit confusing, right? There's too many STEM A, B, C1 and C2. Okay, now when we are talking about like the decline of the interest is when they are not choosing the STEM A, which is the pure sciences. So we would like to refer to the pure sciences classes in this context of like the Ministry of Education. They call it STEM A, where the students are taking like physics, chemistry, biology and maths. Okay, so for the other STEM B package, they might be taking maths, physics or chemistry and drop their biology, or they can choose either one to drop the subjects, or the C1 and C2, they might not taking any of the STEM science, pure sciences subjects at all. So what we are interested in, those students who are taking A, which is the pure sciences. Okay, so we wanted to talk in that context because like when you're talking about STEM, they also have STEM program and people are still children are still interested in joining STEM program as their extracurricular. But the problem is they are not enrolling in a formal education. So we did a survey. We did a survey among the students why they do not choose the STEM A when they enroll in their Form 4. So and interestingly, what they were saying is they are not qualified to choose that particular package. So most of the students is around 60% were saying they are not qualified, and we got another 40% saying that they are afraid of taking those subjects. We only have like 0.5% saying that they are not interested. So you can see that the interest is there, but in terms of like qualification or the afraid of talking about the subjects, it's a bit like hindering them from enrolling in that package A, which is the pure sciences. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about that. The commonly held perception that students have that the pure sciences, the pure sciences STEM subjects are difficult, are intimidating. Are there ways to address this? Are there strategies that can be employed that first of all, is it true? Is it true that it's harder and it's intimidating? And are there strategies to make it more accessible?
Yes. Okay. So they were saying like again, I would like to use some data, right? They were saying like if the teaching and learning of the STEM subjects are more fun and more kind of like really interest them in the classroom, I think more chances for them to learn better, but especially like science and math in their Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, before they can be qualified for the Form 4 pure sciences. So the first thing, and I believe that we need to evolve on the way that we are teaching our current or our younger generation. So the teachers or the educators, we have to change our method, because nowadays the children are not the same like in our era, okay? Because we are more classroom based teaching. So nowadays they are exposed to a lot of like information, knowledge coming from the internet, the social media, and so on. So the way that the teachers are teaching such subject, especially science and math, must be reformed. We have to reform ourselves. So the teachers have to reform themselves. Or means even me, I'm the educator. So that's one thing. The second thing is like they are being intimidated by the results of the assessments. So we still have, even though our government have abolished most of the major exams, even like they only like take the XPM when they're in Form 5, they still have this mindset of like assessment base. So while I'm not against of assessing those students, but we have to think about like multiple method of assessment. We can't only stick onto the exam or paper base where the student has to write the answer on a paper and then the teachers are going to mark the paper. We have to think more broader and things out of the box, because we have some, for example, like practical exam, PBL, problem-based learning. We have like oral exam. So we have other methods of assessing the student, because not all are able to answer like on the paper base. They might understand the concept though, because we have tried that. We've tried and asked why you can get D in your exam, but when we're asking you about a certain concept, you understand about it. Yeah, because like they said, it's much more convenient for them to answer verbally. So we have to relook into the teaching, learning, and assessment. So this might be able to help our kids or our children to more, that's not really afraid of taking the sciences subject. Yeah.
That's very interesting to maybe change the way we assess some of these pure sciences subjects, so that it's less daunting to study in school. Can I ask you? You said the survey pointed to the fact that not only are students intimidated and afraid to take pure sciences, but also that they don't qualify for it. How do we address that?
Yeah, okay. So this goes back like, okay, we do not have last time we have like PMR, if you remember, and then we have PT3, right? When they're in Form 3, and then like it's a standardized examinations, and all the 15 years old students will take the exam. But now we have this so-called PBD, so that the teachers are going to assess. They call, in Malay they call tahap penguasaan. Means how the teachers are going to assess whether Form 1, Form 2, and Form 3 student, whether they are a certain level in their maths and science. So in order for them to be able to choose the science stream in their Form 4, they should be having at least level 4 of the maths and science. And then this level 4 are being assessed through like we just discussed earlier. So the assessment method, so they are not, like I said, they might know the concept, but they're not able to answer it on the paper. So their level of understanding seems to be lower than 4. While they actually like have interest in choosing the STEM package. So again, this what have been back and forth issue. So how the selection of like students who would want to enroll into STEM A, but the schools or the system does not really putting them as eligible for choosing that package. On top of that, they were also assessing the psychometric tests and other tests as well. So we would like to see whether we can address this assessment issue again. Coming from the Form 3, when they're choosing the Form 4 in more holistic way and in more alternative way, so we can really engage and we can really capture those who are really interested into choosing STEM A, so they can go to the and choose the subjects in Form 4. So now at the moment they are not being able to, because they are being channeled to a different stream or package. Yeah.
Right. Can I ask you whether parents play a role, any role in, influencing their children's choices to take STEM or not to take STEM?
Yeah, so we have the data about 73.4% parents do really support the choice of STEM package when their kids wanted to enroll into the STEM package. However, the parents in this generation, we are more flexible. So if, for example, like in the beginning, for first 1 to 6 months, and we think like our children are not able to cope with the subjects, we allow them to change to other stream or other package. It's kind of like not the same like in our era where our parents like, okay, you have to take sciences, so we really, choose the science stream and we really go for it and until Form 5. So in terms of like support, there are support from parents. It's just like we are normally this generation, the parents are more kind of like understanding the students, their children's issues, or they listen to on the opinion of the children, so they allow them to change from science to non-sciences. Yeah.
Right. Do you see a gender gap in who is taking up pure sciences subjects?
Yeah, and in Malaysia, we have a very unique situation where we have more girls actually like taking the sciences subjects. Yeah. So yeah, because like I said earlier, because the assessment and the way of the teaching is more cognitive. So the girls, the way that we learn things, we are more cognitive, while the kinesthetics, the boys are more kinesthetics. They are more hands-on, they are more practical. So the way that teaching and learning and assessment in our country is more prone towards the ability of the girls to really learn into the science subjects. But if the boys, that's why the boys, however, they understand the concept, but when they're answering the assessment, it's a bit lacking for them.
All right. So what advice do you have to give for students maybe who are watching, or parents who are watching today, who may be hesitant about pursuing pure sciences or STEM subjects? How can they be encouraged to explore these fields?
Yeah, okay. So first and foremost, they have to understand that the skill set for the if their children enroll into the science stream or pure sciences package is a skill set that are being needed now. Okay, so it doesn't matter on what they want to be when they finish their study. They can be an actor, they can be anyone, they can be influencer, as long as they have a background of STEM. They have the logical thinking. They have the way of their thinking have been trained for at least 2 years, and these skill sets are very important because these are the things that these high industry, high innovation industries are looking for. So in a long term, choosing pure sciences is worth it for me. So it can last longer when they are looking at like the prospect in their career. Yeah.
Dr. Mas, thank you so much for speaking with me. That was Dr. Mas Sahidayana Mokhtar from University Malaya STEM Centre. We're going to take a quick break here on Consider This. We will be back with more. Stay tuned. Hi, welcome back to Consider This. I'm Melissa Idris. Let's continue our discussion on the worrying trend of students' declining take-up of pure sciences subjects in schools. Joining us now is Dr. Mazidatul Akmal Miskam, more affectionately known as Dr. Azzi. She's a senior lecturer at USM's School of Chemical Sciences. Dr. Azzi, thank you for being on the show with me today. We have fewer students now opting for pure science subjects in secondary school. I'm wondering what the experience of faculties like the School of Chemical Sciences in USM, what that experience has been when the pool of incoming students wanting to pursue STEM-related degrees is now smaller, and that pool itself they may struggle to have a strong foundation in pure science subjects. What has been your observations over the past few years?
Okay, thank you, Melissa, for having me. All right, when we are addressing this issue, right, we know that, and we notice that the pool are getting smaller and smaller. They take the intake for the students that interest in science stream, especially in secondary school, are declining. This is worrying, not only for the education ministry, but also for us also, because the number of student intake for us is also declining. So we having struggles in order for us to getting more students to enroll to our courses, because we have 3 bachelor courses. And then we want them to, the number is not as much, the intake, the enrollment is declining year by year. So means that we don't see the impact now, but in 2-3 years, this will be worsened. So it's somewhat affecting us directly with the number of decrement of the intake or the students that are interested in science stream, especially in secondary school for us. So it's worrying actually.
Right. As an educator, what do you think is behind this? What are the root causes, do you think, of the declining intake or take-up of pure science subjects?
All right, so when we want to discuss in terms of the root cause of these issues, right? We want it to be very careful in analyzing, because we need to look into various aspects of this issue. So first thing first, we need to address that the younger generations, their interests in learning are different from my generation. All right, so means that they have like a lot of misconceptions and the perceptions that STEM subject or STEM educations perceived to be difficult, all right, and challenging for them to take up. And we know that they don't want to deal with the academic failure, and also they don't want to be having too much pressure in studying, and also there's too much for them, all right. But in a way, that STEM education should not be portrayed as it is. It should be portrayed as fun, as engaging. But I know that the curriculum design nowadays, we can see that it's still towards the traditional memorization. In fact, the issue focus on conceptual understanding of the content, and also in terms of problem solving that develop based on the issue related to their surrounding, so they can relate to the issue. And one more thing is just that we know that current students, they are more interested in something that is fun and engaging, as I mentioned. So they want something that is like hands-on, experiential. All right. And one more thing is just that they don't see what is the advantages and how the career path will be if they take up science stream as their choice for secondary school. So means that we need to address this issue, because they don't want to see, they cannot see what are the potential career. You know that they want to be popular, they want to earn more money, but we need to address that also potential career that can provide what their current perceptions on the career when they grow up. All right, another thing is just that we need to also the parent encouragement also in encouraging the student to evolve in science and what we call engineering education. Somewhat is depleting also, because they think that it's challenging for the students, so they don't actually support the student, the kids, in order to take up the science stream. So another way is just that parent support also, some part of it is very important. And this is also one of the root cause. Other than that, we would see in terms of the curriculum design, and also curriculum design, and also limited infrastructures, limited funding. As we know that some schools, they don't have like fairness in terms of the facilities. Okay, for sciences, for instance, not all schools have a complete laboratory, chemistry or science laboratory, or maybe some schools don't have facilities, for instance, computers for them to study in terms of AI, coding, and etc. So with this, I think some of the root cause, there are other teeny tiny things of the root cause that we need to look into, but I think these are the major causes that impacted or causes this declining number of intake for science stream.
Well, you raised fantastic points, but they sound like really like big issues that we need to address today, so that we don't see the impact of this decline of STEM intake among students. What policy interventions or proactive actions can the government do to stem this decline? Pardon the pun.
All right, so we want it to be, we don't want it to progress, means that we want to put at least stop on this, okay? So addressing the root cause here involve also many aspects. So as we already identified several root causes of this issue, we also need to address them each one by one. Okay, so I think in terms of curricular reform, teachers training programs, awareness campaign, community engagement activities can reignite the interest of these students into STEM educations. So there are various aspects. So means that, for instance, if they say like awareness program, we can engage with the student. We embed it into a very fun interactive activities so that they have the experience of the experiments, or maybe problem solving, innovative competitions, for instance. I think the students really like this sort of competition whereby they can take like some issues or some problem. For instance, with cooking oil, they can innovate into various products that they can resell, and they can design into a different mold and etc. So I think this will be a greater initiative for the students, because somewhat they need something that is fun, that is engaging, and it is somehow also related to the conceptual or basic science and also engineering understanding.
Okay, so the idea is to make the pure sciences subject, the STEM subjects, to be engaging and interesting and fun. And I'm wondering, beyond just kind of academic education policy and the academic, how do we inculcate this kind of culture of scientific curiosity, of innovation, of interest among the youth, particularly if, as you said, they don't see the advantages of a career in STEM, and particularly in maybe in underserved or underprivileged communities, schools are ill-equipped to encourage students to take up STEM subjects. What would you say we need to be thinking about?
All right, so let's see that beyond classroom setting. All right, so let me share some of the activities that we conduct at Chemical School of School of Chemical Sciences. Sorry. Okay, so in our school, what we are doing is that we develop a micro scale kit, chemistry kit, whereby it's like a, you know, the apparatus that we have in the laboratory is like a big size and whatnot, right? So what we are doing is just that we are trying to promote the educations by designing a smaller scale. However, it will be helping them in understanding the basic concept of chemistry. So with this will be addressing the root cause of the limited funding and facilities, whereby with this kit, or with the chemistry, micro scale chemistry kit, we can bring it to underdeserved school. All right, so we can provide the opportunity for them to experience a real chemistry experiments, and it can be used for many students, not only for one student, for many students. So the resources will be very low, means that the cost will be very low, and but still it serves the purpose as for the students. And then other than that, we can see that there are also some other engaging activities where we try to provide them with how to say, try to solve in terms of the water and pollutant chemistry. It's outside of classroom, right? So means that they are they know, they address the problem that we have here in our river water. There's a lot of pollutants. So we try to have them have the imagination on how to solve the issue. So with this, we engage with ministry, under the Ministry of Higher Education, and through a program called Service Learning Malaysia University of Society, we call it SULAM. So this one, we bring everything to school. So in our capacity as educators in university level, we see that the interest is depleting. So they cannot come to us. So we bring the facilities to them. So it means that it will be engaging not only for the students, but in a way that we also train the teachers as part of TOT training for them. So they can conduct the training and also the similar activities with the next batch of the students. So I think in a way that we also provide support for the, as I mentioned, competitions, innovation competitions. So the students are engaging and they really have their interest. Our student is very creative. They have like a lot of ideas and whatnot. So I think with the support that we provide from our school to provide input into fundamentals and also facilities or the analysis that they needed, so they excel in national and also international competition levels. So so I think it's a good thing that we need to have more activities with the students. If they cannot come to us, we as academicians, we need an educator, we need to provide for them.
Right. I mean, it's so encouraging to hear about all these efforts, and thank you so much for sharing them with us today, Dr. Azzi. That was Dr. Mazidatul Akmal Miskam from USM's School of Chemical Sciences, wrapping up this episode of Consider This. I'm Melissa Idris, signing off for the evening. Thank you so much for watching, and good night.